Flight boss, bitch. For sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And this video right here is about keeping your spiritual guard up. Now, what does this actually mean? Let me break it down how you experience this in the third dimensional realm before I actually break down how do you create a defensive system or a shield system for your spirit when you're interacting with people, places, and things. Now, here's when you know you don't have your spiritual guard up, and when you're going through situations as far as the external world, right? Let's say you end up meeting someone, or you end up just getting a new job, or you end up just doing something for the first time, right? And those first situations allow you to open yourself up to a certain degree, right? Now, once you open yourself up to a certain degree, you felt like it was the right thing to do because the way that you opened yourself up to be vulnerable was more beneficial to the energy at the time because you was trying to make an impression or it was something else going on. But for the most part, the energy that allowed yourself to be open for a minute, right, was what you thought was the right thing to do. Now, time start to go down the line. Days, weeks, months, where these very same things that you used to make the situation go smoothly at the first time, all those things that you was using is now starting to become something that's used against you. And now you have to either walk on eggshells or you can't fully express yourself based upon the foundation that you built on the relationship or the job or the circumstance. It was built on those impressions that you was using because you thought it was the right thing to do. Do you get what I'm saying? Now that time go down the line, you're starting to realize that a lot of those attributes that you was doing wasn't the right thing to do because you have allowed others to see your hand. You have allowed others to see your moves. Slowly but surely, you have become predictable. And now, the very same thing that you was using to make the situation go through smoothly is now causing you minor frustrations just maintaining that relationship or that circumstance or that situation. So, here's when you may have certain plans, you may have certain ideas, but due to the fact of you wanting to relate at the moment, those got pushed to the back burner. Now when it's time for you to actually do those things again, you may not even necessarily feel comfortable doing those things based upon all the things you have set in stone on that relationship that you have built that foundation on. You see what I'm saying? Do y'all get what I'm saying? So, slowly but surely, you will start to play out frustration like your soft spot is getting hit or you're not spiritually free or you're in some type of cage. And slowly but surely, you and that individual or group of individuals is going to come to a clash, aka you just reminding yourself that you have opened yourself up too early within a relationship and now the boundaries wasn't set. So now you're in a circumstance or situation where you are limited and you are bonded to that relationship even if you're not on that ship sailing anymore. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, that is a living example of you not having a spiritual guard up, because when you was getting into a situation, you were spiritually naive. You didn't have spiritual discernment, and whatever the physical external shape and form was, however it looked and made you feel at the moment, that was more important, other than understanding was it going to be good for you in the long run, aka you stopped at the triangle. You didn't make a complete square. You stopped at the idea, problem, and solution and stopped there. You didn't go to the conclusion, aka is that solution going to be beneficial for you in the outcome, or is it going to be negative for you in the outcome? You see what I'm saying? Because it's an idea, problem. So the idea is what you're trying to do. Problem, what it's going to take to do that. And solution, the actual outcome that you want. Now, the outcome that you want and that you maintain, is it going to be good for you in the long run, or is it going to be bad for you in the long run? And that's having foreknowledge, aka you make a fourth point. That's the conclusion. And a lot of times y'all don't understand the conclusion or the full circumstance of the situation because y'all don't think that far. Y'all stop at the solution, aka the solution is a want or a need. So you have an idea, a problem, how to get that idea, and a solution. Getting that idea. And a lot of times that's settled with y'all desires, y'all wants, and y'all needs. And then y'all don't think about the conclusion. That's why a lot of times y'all jump into bad relationships. The idea, want a relationship. The problem, a person you have to get into relating with For it could be a relationship, the solution, you being in a relationship. But for the most part, y'all stop there and then y'all suffer and turn the other cheek, not seeing all the spiritual signs of, if you was to peep the conclusion, you would start to realize that this person is not even the right person for you. So just because you in a relationship, just because you solved the solution, don't necessarily mean that's the right conclusion or outcome that you're going to want in your life months and years down the line. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have foreknowledge. So once we start to talk about the situation that you in, as far as not having your spiritual guard up, that is an example. You know what I'm saying? That's the living example right there. Now, here's the thing. It could go into a lot of different ways, because for a lot of times, y'all just get into situations without even thinking about the spirit, without even thinking about, should you even mix yourself up in this space, mix yourself up in this vortex, mix yourself up with these group of individuals, right? And here's the thing. The world is so tricky. These things, these places sometimes could look very applicable, if I even said that word right, very beneficial to our goals, because our goals a lot of times have something to do with this magic square. So the magic square that the shadow government got us all in already have a system. So when you have a bunch of people parlaying in the actual system, a lot of times it'd be a bunch of people that's no good for you. But based upon the system, you might need their attributes, you might need their talents, you might need their position, you might need to rub shoulders with them at the moment in order for you to reach your goal. So you might have to turn the other cheek or settle for less, or mix yourself around individuals that you would normally mix yourself with, based upon you just trying to get your way in the world. And just the kind of dilemma that they all got us into. But at the same time, this is what allows us to jump into situations without even thinking about the spirit realm and having a spiritual guard up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times y'all might need a job for so long, and then as soon as that job call back, right, you take the job, and for the most part, at that point you're not even thinking about your spiritual nature. You might even tie your spiritual nature to it, like, yeah, my spirit just helped me get this job. And your spirit ain't got nothing to do with that. You see what I'm saying? Your spirit just going to help you get into situations that help create your vision and idea. And sometimes that take jobs, sometimes it don't. But here's the thing. When you're in a situation like that, you're not even sitting back, even thinking of the concept of, damn, my spiritual guard ain't even up at the moment. You know what I'm saying? The manager might need you for some extracurricular type shit that you ain't even prepared for. You thought you getting a job for one thing, and they might just fire like 10 people, so they about to utilize you way out of your means and still pay you the same shit. So you're not even thinking about all these up loops and downs and things of that nature. And in the long run, before having foreknowledge, aka this motherfucking job gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? You building buildings and shit like that gonna fall off and break your neck or something. I'm just using examples, but for the most part, like I said, right, you're not even thinking about the goddamn spiritual nature. You're just thinking about the actual energy of, oh shit, I'm getting into something that look like it's going to help me gain security. That look like it's going to help me have safety in this life. It look like it's going to have me have be secure in some way, shape, or form. Not even thinking about the spiritual nature, and the spirit don't even give a fuck about any of those things. So like I said, I'm just giving y'all light examples on how we jump into situations, because we all do this. We jump into situations without a spiritual guard up, right? And then when you jump into anything, a relationship, a job, or any kind of circumstance without your spiritual guard up, you end up blocking certain and creating limitations and incapabilities in things that you was naturally going to do anyway. You might have had an idea you was going to do. You don't feel comfortable doing it anymore, based upon whatever foundation that you set up around you trying to relate in some way, shape, or form, and jumping in that situation without no spiritual guard up, without letting these individuals know this is my visions, and this is my ideas, and this is my circumstance and situation and things of that nature. And do you got similar dreams? Do you got similar ideas and things of that nature? A lot of y'all just jump in relationships and y'all got totally different dreams. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even make no sense, because the relationship is going to turn into a whole bunch of fighting for time, aka pay attention to my dream. No, pay attention to my dream. And then y'all gonna separate and find someone that correlate more with y'all dreams, and then y'all didn't even have to waste each other's time like that. You see what I'm saying? So it get motherfucking deep once you start to talk about having your spiritual guard up when you're getting involved into circumstances and situations. Because when you don't have your spiritual guard up, you may start to, when you try to put your spiritual guard up when it's too late, aka you're already known for certain mannerisms, you're already known for certain attributes, you're already known for certain actions, you're already known for certain ways that you think, and you built the situation early on that. Now when it is time for you to, and when you start feeling frustrated because you realize what you have done too early in a relationship, then you're going to start to put your spiritual guard up. But But then at that point, it's too late, because now you're going to show a person a side of you that they didn't realize, and they had no time to get prepared for, because you wasn't presenting that. So even though you might be hard on yourself, you're still going to be presenting some fake or phony energy, because at the beginning you was fake and phony with yourself. So even though deep inside you thought you was being real, just to make the situation more balanced and relatable, right? You still wasn't being real to yourself. You was trying to be real to something external, and then that's not never being real. Every time you externalize something, that's a form of being lost, because you're looking for it. And it's something that you are already supposed to know where it's at. And then once you know where it's at, then you go through the ups and downs and seeing if you want to go and search for more attributes to add to it in some way, shape, or form, to help your spaceship that you already have inside you a more sufficient spaceship, because you already got these energies inside you. You just have to make it better, so you can go out and kind of utilize different life forms, attributes, home depots, other spirits that's doing the same thing, and just to help your system get situated. But when you don't think you got these yourself, and then you just go out and look for everything in that nature, look for love, look for wisdom, look for knowledge, look for intellect, for the most part you're going down the abyss, and you're going down an endless rabbit hole of knowledge, and you ain't going to find no ledge. So you have to find a ledge. A ledge is knowing that you have these things inside of you, so you don't have to continuously search. You could kind of learn what these things are if you are lost a little bit and trying to look outside of you, but then all you're doing is learning how to make yours better, and then therefore you got a ledge now, and now you could go to some other knowing and say no to another thing that try to get you trapped into it in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? But this is all mentally, because you could be involved around people who may not know that they're doing this to you, but based upon their living conditions, they have no choice because of their magic square and shit like that. So they may have to use you for certain things to go through smoothly in their life. So, by default, a lot of times you still get wrapped up and mixed and mingled into having to apply yourself in situations without a spiritual guard up. A lot of these people are close, very close to you. So the moment you switch up and show a different side to yourself, you still going to manifest negative energy towards yourself, because like I said, from the start you wasn't clear. So we got to be real with ourselves before we could be real with someone else, and that's like the end result of it all. And that's the whole concept of keeping a spiritual guard up. Therefore, people know what is hidden for when it comes to you, and therefore they won't be re-wrangling and re-finagling whatever that you got going on based upon whatever low vibrational energies they got going on in their life. It's so often that we got things and goals going on in our life, and then we jump into a relationship, or we jump into a friendship, or we jump into a job, and it's so much vortexes going on in that energy. Slowly but surely, we end up forgetting our mission, our goal, the thing we was trying to do, and then for the most part we end up being frustrated at ourselves. But then if we're spiritually low vibrational, it turns into victim energy, and we end up blaming the people we was involved in for stifling us in some way, shape, or form. And then it becomes an endless battle of placing a blame game amongst you, blaming others, and others blaming you for circumstances, until someone have to be the bigger spirit. You know what I'm saying? Someone has to do more of the expansion and contraction. You know what I'm saying? And don't let another spirit around you beat you to that punch, because you always want to be going to another experience, going to another space, so you could be that bright, so you could create a bright star and creature in that space, so everybody can look in that area and have a sense of direction, and therefore you will always be the author of that energy vortex in some way, shape, or form, of that intellectual property. You will always be the author of that intellectual property. And if any other spirit want to play out that energy, want to sign a signature behind that energy, aka play the face and role of that energy, being a signature behind it, the spirit that's moving in cursive behind it, for the most part, you will still receive the energy from it in some way, shape, or form, based upon it's your creation, because you was in that space first. So you have to keep that in mind. And this is what we are here to do as spirits. This is why spirituality is just another word for individuality. The more you understand your individuality, you can make it more relatable. The more you don't understand your individuality, you try to force it to be relatable, and that becomes a destruction of everything that we're creating as this collective conscious together, that to say that we all part of this substance that we're all creating. But the more you don't know how to relate yourself within this substance, you go back to your separate shit, and you might even get destroyed or killed or expired in some type of way, to the point your spirit can't use this vehicle no more. So you get pushed back to that space until you learn how to be more relatable with your individuality in some way, shape, or form, or just stay in your own individual world. And right now, spirits don't even really know how to do that for long periods of time, so it end up always being a hell. So keep that in mind too. And keep your spiritual guards up, and don't allow people in your life to make you so vulnerable to the point that you can't fully express yourself or go for your goals or say what you want to say, due to the fact of how you created the foundation of the relationship in the first place. Pardon me. And I love y'all subconscious community. And goddamn it, we're gonna break down a goddamn full moon in Taurus. Hee hee.